some history that you might want to learn about. And this is actually the family that bought the house in 1985. This is kind of like an aftermath of everything. He's supposed to be black. This family is supposed to be black. They are actually, but they were never, his family was, they were never slaves. They were all considered free coloreds. But anyway, he's still alive, and they bought the house in 1985. And so that's one of the things that go through those pages. So she was born Sarah Breedlove, and in 1867 in Louisiana, and she died in 1919. She was a millionaire. In terms of today's currency, her estate was worth about $7 million. She was, and this is just based on my research, one of or the first self-made millionaire in the United States. She had a workforce of at least 3,000 people in the United States and the Caribbean. She apprised her empire by developing a conditioning treatment for hair, along with the straightening comb, and she was like the first beautician, because before her business there were not any beauticians. And I think that, you know, for me, like what I kind of learned was that she said that her hair was falling out. But what I think is that, like, in the early 1900s, it was that black people didn't know what to do with their hair. A lot of them wear scarves, and they were really, I think, ashamed of their hair, and nobody told them how to take care of their hair. So when they started to work and wanted to come out of the scarves and wanted to look different, then she said that she prayed. You know, there were no businesses that would, or nobody teaching those things. So she said that well, I'll go back some. When she was 7 years old, she was the first child that was born in her family after the Civil War. So her parents died when she was 7, and she and her sister picked cotton, and when she was 14, she got married, and she had a child, and then her husband died. So she went to Vicksburg, Missouri with her daughter, and she was a washerwoman for 18 years. So what happened was, according to my research, is that her hair began to fall out. Me personally, I don't think her hair was falling out. Or it might have been falling out, but it was nappy, and she didn't want nappy hair anymore. She didn't want her hair to be kinky. She wanted to have straight hair, like most black people did and still do. And so she said that she prayed, and that a big black man came to her in a dream and told her what to do so that her hair would be more manageable. She went to Denver with $1.50 and her daughter Alayla, and she met a man by the name of his last name was Walker, and he was a newspaper salesperson. So she married him, and with him, they invented, these products. She said that this black man, he gave her this recipe in this dream. So she invented them. She developed the recipe, and along with the straightening comb and these moisturizers and hair care products, she was able to do with her hair what she wanted to do, which was, to me, to straighten her hair. You know, to straighten it, because she thought that was more beautiful, and because that's what she wanted to do. So she started to sell this stuff. She packaged it, and she started to sell it door to door. There was a lot of black newspapers at that time, and she advertised in the newspaper, and so it really, it caught on, because black women wanted to have, I believe they wanted to have straightened hair. They wanted to have more longer hair. They wanted to have straighter hair. That's what they wanted to have, and so she was like the first beautician or beauty culturalist. What else? So let me see. When she went to, from Denver, she went to Indiana, and in Indiana, she opened up a manufacturing plant. And that's when she began to employ people. And as people began to be employed by her, she began to like really make a lot of money. She didn't invent the straightening comb, but she did. I think most of what we know as black um, uh, beauticians or hair products or black beauty is kind of started by Madam C.J. Walker. She created the Madam C.J. Walker Hair Culturalist Union of America. She and her agents traveled all over the United States demonstrating hair techniques, advertising different products to make the hair grow and how to maintain their hair. These people were called the Walker agents. They didn't have beauty salons like they have now. They went into people's houses and um, and taught people to groom their hair. The bulk of her fortune was made between 1911 and 1917. She was also a philanthropist. She was a central figure in black leadership. She funded the construction of the first black YMCA in Indianapolis for black men. She financed the restoration of Frederick Douglass's home in D.C. And in 1917, when a white mob murdered 36 black men in East St. Louis, she helped lead a protest against lynching. She also went to, I guess the president was Woodrow Wilson at the time, and like she demanded that she demanded that they do something to stop them from lynching people. So by 1916, she moved to New York, and in 1917, she became involved in Harlem's social life and political life. And her agents and hair culturalists, they were making $5 to $15 a day when most unskilled white workers were making like $7 a week. She pioneered a system of multi-level marketing that she designed for the black market. She died in, the house that she built in the Hudson is like really close to like a really wealthy, and I don't know that this really matters, but Vanderbilts and the DuPonts and the Goulds also live in that area. She should have paid like $30,000 for the land, but when they found out she was a black woman, they charged her $60,000 for the land. She paid $250,000 for the house. The first black registered, architect was Vertmer Tandy, and he is the one who actually designed the house. She died 2 years later of hypertension. And so she did die there in the house, and the house was, and during the Depression, she willed everything to black people. You know, black women is who she wanted to kind of inherit her business. They began to, it's kind of sad, but after a while, like during the Depression, they lost the house. They lost a lot of her things. Like there was a Walker Theater that they built, and they lost control of a lot of her assets. In 1985, the house was sold. She doesn't have any blood relatives after her daughter, Alayla. She didn't have any kids, so she adopted children. So there's a lot of good stuff on the internet about her. Thanks. And
I just want to say, question for you, Sister Woods. It's interesting, this wonderful house, this spiritual brother, he and I were just talking about
She started this, what we call, what we, many of us, Pan-Africanist persuasion, hate the whole idea of trying to look like somebody else and straighten your hair. But we need not judge, because even though she started this and did it for herself, she did miraculous things for black people. Still, she still had a black
That's
consciousness.
right. That's without any doubt.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing you said.
It's strange. When I was down in Atlanta, there was a book that was laying around the house. One of somebody in her family, her lineage, one of the adopted kids, whatever, was writing. But what she was doing with the hair care product, that there was something that African Americans were getting, their hair was breaking out, like alopecia from stress, and also from tying it up and not caring for it.
Right.
And so eczema, or there's a lot of stress-related hair issues that we have, and so the salve that she was doing was a salve for the scalp. So it wasn't just like she just throwing nothing together just to sell like snake oil, but it was an actual product that she had put together as salve for the scalp, because that's one of the reasons, according to this book or this person's research, that we were doing.
We definitely